And county council members are pointing the finger at previous council members for fast-tracking data centers in Prince George's County. CTV's Anaya Vulcan is in the studio with more. Anaya?
Yes, data centers is a hot topic in Prince George's County, as residents have been pleading with government officials to not build them here. Their concerns, the negative health, economic, and environmental impacts of data centers. But county council members are pointing the finger, citing a 2021 bill that fast-tracked data centers coming to Prince George's County. The bill overrides county council and community members' voices on the matter, and it sends data centers straight to the Maryland National Capital Parks and Planning Commission and then through the permitting process, a move that previous county council members say they regret. The topic of data centers in Prince George's County has community members taking a stand.
No data center for PG County.
This data center fight has ignited a lot of passion as community members feel their concerns are falling on deaf ears.
Get it through your heads. You have to generate revenue somewhere else.
You vetoed a bill that would have allowed us to research the data impacts of that, and my community does not want more data centers being built at the cost of our health so that billionaires can get richer. And that's not what I want for Maryland.
I agree, and that's not what I want for Maryland either.
But you vetoed the bill.
Community members say there's been a lot of hand-hiding and finger-pointing by government officials on this topic. Current county council members say they aren't responsible for data centers coming to Prince George's, as a bill in 2020 established a personal property tax exemption on data centers, and a 2021 bill fast-tracked data centers coming to the county and left no room for the county councils or community members' voices.
I disagree with that piece of legislation. I think it was damaging. It's why the community is such an uproar right now is because they feel like they were blindsided by a piece of legislation that was intentionally meant to leave the community out.
Jolene Ivey, there were many of those, and amongst others, at least 4 members that are currently on there that voted to fast track. I would have never done that because we haven't gotten the infrastructure in place.
County council members who helped pass those bills in 2020 and 2021 say it's unfair for their colleagues to point the finger.
They weren't here and didn't understand. They don't have the full context of what occurred. I think the issue is not what happened back then, but where people stand now. And I think some people are quietly in favor of data centers, but they just don't want them in their neighborhood. And I think we need to have a better understanding of what the impacts are.
And some of those impacts, Tom and his colleagues say they weren't aware of when they agreed to pass the 2020 and 2021 data center bills.
Back then, we were in COVID. We had presentations from the EDC, it's all virtual, of course, about data centers. And it wasn't something that we knew anything about, truly, but they explained to us the benefits, the money it would bring to the county, which was significant. And at that time, really no real downside.
County council members at the time say they felt pressured to make a decision quickly because the process for permitting is significantly slower in Prince George's County compared to surrounding jurisdictions.
Data centers that were coming would choose to go to the locations that were quicker because time is money. And as far as zoning, it was done in a way to allow them in a lot of different places by right without it having to come back before the council, because if it came back through the council, that was additional time.
A decision that she and Councilmember Denoga say they regret.
I think that we've learned a lot, and at that time, although we did have public hearings, there was no public outcry, because the public knew what we knew, which was very little. But we all know a lot more now. I think it's time that we repeal the laws that we implemented then and kind of start over.
That's something that Councilmember Walla Blagay says is already on her to-do list.
The first thing we're going to do is remove the fast tracking. I would do that because I do believe that with the infrastructure issues, fast tracking should not come with data centers. They should go through the regular process.
The Qualified Data Center Task Force has until November 30th to submit their recommendations to the County Council. However, a coalition of community organizations sent a letter to the task force asking the county to extend the moratorium on issuing permits for data centers until a science-based review is done that evaluates all scenarios for data center development in Prince George's County. The organizations are also demanding the county to enact and be ready to enforce legislation that protects communities and their environment. We will keep you updated on this topic as more information becomes available.